Welcome back to another episode of The Canon. Want to start off congratulating Nick from Chicago winning our Deadpool giveaway. Congratulations. This bad boy is now yours. So, it is time now to talk about the news in the comic book movies and the superhero movies. I'm your host, Terry. This is my partner, Sal, and we're ready to bring you stuff that matters. Starting off with Flash loses its director. Rick Famuyiwa has departed the Flash movie for DCU, citing creative differences. Now, he left us with a little quote on the social media, and I just wanted to read a little bit to give us the context. He says, "When I was approached by Warner Brothers in DC about the possibility of directing The Flash, I was excited about the opportunity to enter this amazing world of characters that I loved growing up and still do to this day. I was also excited to work with Ezra Miller, who is a phenomenal young actor. I pitched a version of the film in line with my voice, humor, and heart. While it's disappointing that we couldn't come together creatively on the project, I remain grateful for the opportunity. I look to continue to look for opportunities to tell stories that speak to a fresh, generational, topical, and multicultural point of view." Sal, what are your thoughts about Rick Famuyiwa leaving?
That's very disheartening to me as a fan that was very much looking forward to Flash movie. Obviously, it's not the end of the movie, but he was on this project for quite some time. I think it was it June maybe? I think he was there.
Around
so that's a good like 5 months almost. So that's a lot of time wasted. So this is probably gonna get delayed, and I don't know how it's gonna mess up the timeline of movies, but it probably will. And I enjoy his work. I just watched Dope yesterday, and
for the first time?
No, it's my second time, but I could rewatch that movie every time, or all day, I mean. And so yeah, it's really disheartening that he's leaving. I thought he was a fun director. Thought he had a lot of good ideas. I like his tone, even just from the one movie I saw. But if it was anything like that, then I would have enjoyed it. I think, at least the tone. And it seems like Warner Brothers is very sticking to their guns on what they want with this movie, which could be a good thing or could be a bad thing. In a way, I think it's a bad thing, because for two directors to leave on creative differences, I think it's a red flag, and I don't know how much different these directors wanted to change some things up, and so it could be fine, and it just might be their egos getting in the way of things, but we'll see.
Well, when I heard this news, one thing was in my head. Celebration.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought you
time.
liked it.
Come on. Not really. I was worried about Rick Famuyiwa from the beginning. A lot of people talk about Rick. They're like, "Oh man, how did he give up this chance to do a big time movie? He did this indie movie. This is his chance." Rick Famuyiwa has been around for years, people. I need you people to understand. Dope was not his first movie. Rick has made many black movies back in the day. The Wood. I can't remember the other ones, but it's the Best Man. Like black people know these movies. So
The Best Man with Kevin Hart?
No, that's Wedding Ringer. So he made some movies back in the 90s, like some classic black movies. They were okay to me. They weren't the best. They were all pretty much coming of age, kinda. So yeah, he made Brown Sugar. Like, Rick Famuyiwa's been around, and stuff hasn't been like amazing. So Dope, while I love Dope, I will not say anything bad about Dope. People act like because it was an indie movie, this was his first movie ever. Rick's been around. Rick can get work after this if he wants. Rick doesn't need this opportunity to break out. But at the same time, he has a resume that I'm not super impressed with. So even though if you haven't seen those movies, you might want to go watch them, and you'll probably be happy he left too, because he could have got better, because those were like decades ago, but I just didn't feel quite comfortable with his background, what he was going to do with the Flash. Like, even in his quotes, he's talking about, multicultural and, this young perspective. Rick is an older dude. Like, why does he keep trying to make kid movies? Or movies about young people? I don't know. But obviously, creative differences. He wanted it to be one way. They wanted it to be another way. Seth Graham-Smith, whatever his name was, the other director. From what I remember, WB let him go. I don't remember that he walked. I thought they kind of told him no.
But it was still creative.
It was, but it's different when they let him go. So
what do you think this means for WB? What do you think it means behind the scenes?
I mean, I would have no idea until I read his comments, which came out the day after, and just kind of saying he's saying he had a voice. He had humor, he had heart, he wanted to be multicultural, and what did he say? Generational. So, and topical. So, he said a lot of things. But I think he really wanted to make a movie with a message, and they really want to make a movie within their universe. This is supposed to carry on the story and in a certain type of way, and he's trying to make a character piece. Much like Logan right now is not an X-Men movie per se.
Yeah.
It's really something different.
To solidify his character. And
I think that's what it seems like Rick was trying to do. I don't know, I'm speculating. But DC was like, no, it's not time for that. we need this to be.
It could have been a great movie, but that's just not what they're looking for. So I like that point that you made. So.
Yeah. It is worth noting that Kirstie Clemens said that she's staying. She said she was upset, but she's gonna. Her and Israel are gonna honor what they promised to do and do their best. I forgot his name. Crudup. What is it? Billy Crudup.
Billy Crudup.
He also was personally brought in by Rick Famuyiwa, and at this time they don't know what his commitment is going to be to the movie. So he might possibly leave, and he was set to play Henry Allen, Barry Allen's dad. So. The split is real. You said you thought it was going to be delayed. I'm wondering if that's true, because we saw Wonder Woman lost their director, brought a new director, and they not only finished on time, they got moved up, and it's early. And we saw that with Ant-Man. Ant-Man was in the works for years. The director, writer all left. Peyton Reed came in. Marvel was like, no, get this movie out on time, and they still got it out on time. So I'm wondering if it really has to be delayed.
I don't know. That's a long time to have one director and then him leave, and then bring another director and still make it good.
Well, the Ant-Man director, Edgar Wright, was on it for years. So
yeah, but that was before they released an release date, I think.
Yeah, they eventually released it, but he was the sole person for years and years, and he left last second. So I just think with these slates, we've seen DC's flexible. They've been changing stuff, but I don't know. Because it was supposed to go in production soon. Now, the one thing I will say is FAMU is the writer of this movie, too. Because Seth Graham, this will be the fourth writer, actually. Because Lord and Miller wrote the original treatment. Seth Graham came in and did rewrites. FAMU came in and did his own script. And now we're going to have a new script. So, I don't know if it's going to get delayed, but it's going to be pushing it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like there's a lot of problems.
What are your hopes for the Flash movie now, or what do you?
I just hope they don't. I hope they don't rush it. If it needs to get delayed, it needs to get delayed.
Okay.
And yeah, I just rather have a good movie than not. So we'll see how Wonder Woman turned out. I guess it's kind of like a sample, a test sample in terms of delaying, but still possibly being really good.
Do you think this will speed up Man of Steel 2?
I was just going to say, so we just saw today that the script is being written now. Could possibly take the place of, did they come out release date?
What?
Man of Steel 2.
No.
Okay, maybe it'll take the place of this. But yeah, it definitely has possibilities to do that. So I want to see Brainiac. I want to see Rami Malkin, I think his name is. So we'll see.
All right, so let's move to our favorite segment.
Rami Malek. Sorry. Go ahead.
You done, sir?
Yeah.
Let's do Keep It or Sweep It. All right, first up for Keep It or Sweep It, sticking with the theme of loss, Deadpool 2 lost its director Tim Miller, we know, but they lost somebody else now, Sal. Junkie XL, the very popular composer right now, has exited Deadpool 2. And he actually said that Tim Miller was the reason he did Deadpool, and he does not feel right doing it without Tim Miller on the movie anymore. So, do you keep or sweep the exit of Junkie XL? Or do you keep or sweep that it's going to hurt the movie?
I sweep it. I can't remember any incredible songs from that movie besides Deadpool, whatever that song was. But it more so. Did I just say keep? I didn't even.
You said sweep.
A sweep, yeah. So it does. I don't think it's really. I think it's gonna play a big part in it, especially for the music. But then there's also the topic of now are other people gonna be spurred to leave as well?
And that's the question.
That's what you were talking about when this first came out. But I'm sweeping this.
Yeah, I sweep it as well for the same reason. Junkie XL is definitely big name. However, Deadpool specifically, there's no real score. It was more the pop songs that everybody heard, and I feel like kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, they're going to adopt a new song for number 2, so they'll probably find a pop song to play. So that, as execution is not a big exit, but philosophically, like we said, that it makes me think. I mean, because it's like a divorce. Like, people got to pick sides. Yeah. And I don't think fans realize the relationships behind the scenes and how big that is. Like, it's all about who you know. Like, we talked about with Kirstie Clemens in The Flash. Like, Rick Famuyiwa brought her in specifically, and he's not there anymore. And so, Tim Miller leaving. We saw Blur Studios, his design or special effects company, leave. We see Junkie XL leaving, so I don't know. It could be more on the way. Does this worry you?
No, I've always had confidence in Deadpool, especially after the first one. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird. I think it'll be fine though.
Okay. All right. So next up, back in the DC universe, Steppenwolf is now casted. The main villain for Justice League will be played by Ciarán Hinds from Game of Thrones. We've talked about Steppenwolf being the main villain after we thought we saw him in Batman v Superman, but now we know it's actually him, and we finally got an actor. Sal, what do you think about this? The keep or sweep the the casting?
I really love this casting because you have to. I told you already, and you're not going to do it. We go watch Game of Thrones. Hinds, I think it's Hinds, but he is just like, he has a presence. Talk about presence. He has it, and so for Steppenwolf being the main character or the main villain in Justice League, I think this is a really good sign for things to come, and I'm keeping it, but yeah. So I'm just really excited. I'm just excited to see him in the getup. The word on the street is that obviously Justice League is wrapped, and this this casting has just come out. So a lot of people are saying it's voice and motion capture based, which scares me. I would rather, he is kind of a larger than life villain. He's one of those big ones, physically. So, to have him be mostly motion capture, sometimes it's, I get scared. I feel like it'll be a lot like Suicide Squad, where Enchantress's brother. So that scares me. I really, really hope that's not how he is. But I don't know. They could have had him secretly on set, and we have no idea. So I don't know what to expect, really.
Yeah, I gotta keep it. I don't really know who this guy is, but I have to keep it. Yeah, I don't watch Game of Thrones or anything, but he's been in a lot of movies that I know of. I don't remember him specifically. He's credited as Dumbledore's brother, and okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I kind of remember that. But anyway. I think they said he's going to be it's going to be CG, but he's doing the mocap for it, which makes sense because the movie's wrapped already. So whatever parts he's doing is going to be behind the scenes in the green screen. But it does make me wonder, like, what role does Steppenwolf play if you can cast him after the movie's wrap? I mean, because usually they'll have like some type of prop or whatever for the actors to reference. But even still, usually the person's cast by then. So, I don't know. Just they could kind of get used to them. But so, I don't know. That's weird to me. But I still have to keep it. What is he doing in Game of Thrones? What type of character is he?
He is he's the leader of a wildling group. Basically, the people that are not part of any sector of the land. So that's why they're called wildlings. And he was the leader of them. So he's a scary dude, but at the same time, strong character, strong presence. So I don't know.
Have like a booming voice or something.
I mean, he has. It sounds like he's Scottish. I don't know. No, he doesn't have a booming voice, but definitely, again, the presence is in his voice.
So. I should have got Patrick Wahlberg, the voice of Joe on Family Guy.
Oh.
That would be funny.
Bad man.
I mean, yes, I'll give it. I'll give it a try. I don't really care. I'm not really looking forward to Steppenwolf, to be honest. So we'll see how it turns out, though.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
Next topic. J.J. Abrams has confirmed that Kylo Ren has never met Rey before Force Awakens. So that kind of kills the theory that Kylo Ren hid her and they could still be brother and sisters, but a lot of people like they were brother and sisters, and he hid her and he's trying to protect her, blah, 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 blah. So they've never met before until then. So do you keep her or sweep that?
I keep it just because it opens so many other possibilities of what it is. I thought that them being brother and sister probably would have been very cliche. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we saw that in the first trilogy. So seeing it now would have kind of been repetitive, though the first movie as itself was repetitive. Remember the Darth Star? Yeah, so I'm sweeping that. Keeping it.
I'm keeping it as well. I do think it opens up a lot more possibilities. I didn't think Kylo hid her before. I mean, it does make it interesting because a lot of people were like, that flashback or whatever scene she had, they were like, oh, Kylo Ren like saved her from whatever and then hit her on Jakku or something like that. So now we know that whatever that scene was, she wasn't actually there. Mm-hmm. Or if she was, Kylo didn't know who she was. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But do you got any theories? I know we talked kind of about the Palpatine's granddaughter theory.
So many. I don't have any myself. That just some of these people have too much time on their hands.
I think the Palpatine thing is not legit, but I think it's plausible. Either way, like we know Kylo Ren a few times in the movie was like, they escaped with a girl. What girl? Or then when he meets her, he's like, the girl I heard so much about. So it's like he knows about her. And I think her being Palpatine's daughter or granddaughter explains so much because one way or the other, they got to explain why she's so good at the Force already. Like, I just recently watched it again. And I was just like, yeah, she kind of just does whatever she wants with the Force without even being trained at all. And then Kylo has like that I'm trying to be better than you relationship with her. She doesn't know him, but he obviously knows of her, where he's trying to prove to Snoke or whoever, I'm stronger than this girl. So I think that Palpatine thing, it works, and it's great twist because it's like the daughter of the hero or the son of the heroes is evil, and the daughter or granddaughter of the evil guy is good. Yeah. So I don't know. Would you be down for that, or you just
I don't know, there's just so many. I just want to see it already.
Okay. All right. Another movie I want to see, Black Panther adds Forrest Whittaker. And I told you they were going to get an old black man. I knew it. All right. Do you keep or sweep this?
Keeping. Forrest Whittaker, great actor, producer or writer of Dope. He did something. I think he produced.
Oh yeah.
And he voiced over. He did the voiceover.
Yeah.
So yeah, keeping that.
I keep it as well. Forrest Whitaker. You could have got any older black guy, but I think Forrest Whitaker is.
He's on the up and up now. Again.
Yeah, he's
Star Wars
doing some high profile things. I think after Lee Daniels Butler is when he kicked back into gear. But what type of character do you want him to play?
I don't know. It'd be cool to see him play a bad guy. Some sort of bad guy. Because he can. I think he could go either way. And he's always the good guy. In the ones I've seen anyways.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking he'll be like some type of advisor or maybe a former Panther.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, man, what if he's like Killermonger's dad or someone in that tribe?
I bet you will be.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Something that might not be so cool. Next topic. There's confirmed that there is no opening crawl in Star Wars or in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So the iconic opening crawl, all that, won't be in Rogue One. Sal, do you keep or sweep
Keeping it. I think I said it before where they're trying to differentiate this from the older movies, and it's not completely in line with the numbered films. So keeping it. It's different, and I'm gonna be I think they're gonna. I'm very interested in seeing what the very first shot is gonna be.
Yeah, what the replacement for it would be.
So
I'm surprised you keep it. I sweep it. I sweep it. Just because there are a lot of fans that are pissed off about this, and I get differentiating, but here's my thing: the anthologies seem very unneeded at this point. Like, we got the Death Plan story. We're going to have the Han Solo story. None of these movies I feel like we need so far. If these were a line of movies that I thought were interesting and like, yeah, we need that, then yeah, differentiate it. But at this point, I think you need as much help as you can get with this stuff because it's kind of confusing time-wise and it's not the most interesting stories. So, but I'm with you. I'm wondering do you think they replace it with something or they just go right in the movie?
I mean, I think I don't think they're gonna replace it with anything, but I think they really have to come with that first scene or with that first shot, whatever it is.
I think it's gonna be a voiceover, like a narration.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
I think it's gonna be like Jyn Erso, like a little
or do they
flashback.
reference them in the fourth film, episode 4? Do they reference them with the plans, or is that? I think that's the
no. They
third.
just said people died. They didn't really say who.
I thought that was the third film. That's a debate that I have to figure out.
But yeah, well, one thing is that they're clearly doing flashbacks in this movie, which is something they've never done. They never really did time jumps or flashbacks too much that were on screen. So they're clearly doing that. So if they started off with I don't know, I'm just picturing in my head a little Jyn Erso walking through the fields and my BBS. There was a time before with perfect things. So I think it might be something like that. Which I'd be locked in right away, honestly, if they did that.
Yeah, there's never been a voiceover in Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. So sequel that won't be happening is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The producers of the movies have said there will not be a third installment. However, they're not saying there won't ever be another movie, which we can say that about anything.
Yeah.
But Sal, do you keep it sweet? No
Keep
more
it.
Ninja.
These never interest me. Just the way the turtles look never interest me. They're like some sort of green monster. They don't look like a turtle. So keeping it, and they need to quit while they're ahead, and just wait for, give me 10 more years before you want anything, before you get anything. Yeah,
I keep it as well. So I mean, you kind of mentioned it, 10 years, but do you think this franchise is dead?
No, not dead. Definitely not dead. Someone else is gonna. Well, who owns it now?
Sony.
Okay, so maybe they'll sell them off. They probably won't, but maybe they'll sell them off. Someone else will take them over, and you'll actually get something good from now.
All right. I think there's material there to be used. I think there's a way to do it. I do think it's live action. I don't think you get Megan Fox, and you don't get Michael Bay, and you probably could make a decent movie. But yeah, I never saw the second one. Did you end up seeing it?
No.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to like trash it, but it obviously didn't do what people wanted to do. Speaking of someone that did not do what people wanted to do, Josh Trank. The infamous director from the reboot of Fantastic Four was pretty much on the blacklist after that movie. He lost his Star Wars directing gig. He was said to be volatile and very just crazy behind the scenes, and no one knows the real story of what happened with that movie. We know they reshot half the movie without asking him, and he left the project, blah, blah, blah. But he's been out of the scene, but now Josh Trank has a new movie. He is going to be doing an Al Capone movie starring Tom Hardy. So the director people thought would never get another project starts again with a smaller project. He also did Chronicle, by the way, so if you love Chronicle. He gets a smaller project, but with a big name. So, Sal, do you keep her sweet? Josh Trank is on his road back into the limelight.
Is there an option to say I don't care?
Yeah.
I guess. No, that actually the movie sounds pretty good, especially with Tom Hardy. And Hardy has.
Keep it or sweet.
Oh, I guess keep it. Yeah, sure. He's on his up and up. Yeah, but that movie sounds really interesting. Al Capone from Chicago.
You said Tom. Yeah, Tom Hardy. Big addition. I keep it as well. I think just for the fact you get someone like Tom Hardy on the project shows that someone has faith in you, whether it's him, his agent, or the studio, to give him a project. It's not a huge project. Probably won't cost a lot, but I think this is his way to work back into the studio's hearts and actually like start directing movies again. But Sal, I know you didn't even see Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you don't understand the levity. Did you see Chronicle?
Yeah, I saw Chronicle. I like Chronicle.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
All right. And speaking of a good movie and good directors, James Gunn has confirmed that he has shot the last 4 cameos for Stan Lee in the MCU. Not last 4, but the next 4.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of getting them all locked up. So do you keep or sweep this story?
I keep because I like the comedy of James Gunn, and I think I was pretty disappointed with the Doctor Strange cameo. I didn't really get the. Was he reading a book or something? Perception, something.
He's reading some book. I didn't really.
I think it had. I think it was like.
We don't want to spoil it though.
Yeah. Well, anyways. So yeah, that was a disappointment. I don't know. I don't think Gunn did that one. I'm not sure. But yeah. So keep it.
Keep it as well. Gotta kind of get them while you can. I think that's one thing, but I think for me this is actually a bigger piece of news than most people think, because you talk about 4 cameos, that's 4 movies down the line. Mm-hmm. And as we know, these cameos usually fit with interaction with the characters that are in the movie. So this tells me that they kind of have these stories already done, because you got to think the next 4, and that's even hard to think about, would probably be Black Panther, the 2 Infinity War movies, and Captain Marvel. Because Guardians is done, and so is Thor. Yeah. So those have to be the next 4, or maybe Spider-Man. No, that's done too. So you're telling me probably like 2019. So that tells me that these stories kind of have to be done already.
They don't have to be. They can. It's I think his cameos are relative to the story, as opposed to the story being relative to what he's doing. So they could just fit him in. I think they could fit him in anywhere. So I don't think the stories are done, or as much as you think they are.
I don't know, Sal.
Don't be dumb.
You said that would be dumb?
I said don't be dumb.
Well, you think about his cameos though, like, I'm not saying it affects the story, but like you got to know when and where, and like let's say let's say Brie Larson. Let's say Brie Larson. You shot one for her movie. That means the costume's already done, and like,
no, he didn't say they shot him already.
Yeah, he said no, he shot him already.
Oh, I thought he said he was going to.
No, they've already been shot.
Oh,
Stan Lee came out to the set where they were doing Guardians, and they shot.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird then. That's odd. You might be right. Sorry, misheard you.
Yeah, so I think that's bigger news than people speculated.
That's weird.
Maybe Marvel has some time powers or something. I don't know.
Some sort of stuff.
All right, so that is our episode for today. Sal, where can the people find us? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, no, on Twitter at The Canon Blog, or on Facebook, facebook.com/The Canon.
I want to say, so voting. Do that and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I think Sal forgot to congratulate the new Chicago champions.
Oh,
I think
no,
that's what he meant to say. Is congratulations to the Chicago Cubs and all their fans out there for an amazing run.
I didn't forget.
All right, so make sure you share, retweet this video to win the Dark Knight, and if you heard it here, scan.